fun last night with your teams? Is that one of the best building times? I hope you did. If you didn't make time for that, make time next time. Stay up late, it's worth it. We're going to talk today about one of your most valuable assets, and that is your contact group. We all call this our inventory because you will find that if you don't have a contact list, you don't have a business. You're out of business without your contact list. I see the blue diamonds nodding their heads. This is the most important thing that you can do along with setting your goals, and someone else is going to talk about that today. But really visualizing your goals and spending time on your contact list, these are paramount at the very beginning of your business. So you want to take a day or two, not a week or two or a month or two. I want to emphasize that. Take a day or two to really work through who you know. So this is the fun part. You get to start with your sphere of influence. This is your capital. And I'm going to jump to number 4 because this is what I want you to focus on. To be successful, you have to talk about what your prospect needs, what your friend needs, what your family members need, not what you are most excited about. Have any of you who've been in this business for more than a week and you're really excited about maybe Age Lock Youth, or you had half of your face done with the new face spa? Have any of you talked to somebody about something you're really excited about only to find out that that was not their thing? Yeah. It's very easy to do, isn't it? I did that just last week, and I had to rein myself in because I was so excited about Age Lock Youth, and I was talking to someone whose husband is a physician, and I was telling her all about it, and she said, I really don't take any supplements, that's not my thing, but I love your exfoliant scrub, your facial scrub, and that creamy hydrating mask. Oh my gosh, that just changed everything for me. I had no idea. I had assumed that she was interested in health and wellness in that way because of her connection. But you have to get to know your person first. So, to be successful, you must say what your prospects need, not what you want to talk about. So jump back to number 2. Knowing your prospects is the most important thing. And this will be easiest with your friends and your family who you're close to. But if you don't take time to ask questions, you may be surprised at finding out that they're not as interested in what you think is most important as what you think is most important. So, I see a lot of you nodding off. It's very hard to have good energy up here. So everybody stand up. We're all going to stand up and jump up and down. It's hard to talk to people. Okay, everybody jump up and down. 3, 4, 5. Good. Okay, thank you. Say woo! Awesome. Okay, thank you very much. So imagine your prospect list so long that you're saying, woohoo! I'm going to make blue diamond with this prospect list. Because you never know who's on that list. Now, you start with the 4 main groups. This is where it gets fun. You get to sit down and think about who you know in every area of your life. I recommend getting, a big spiral for this so that you can continue to add to that same contact list and have it in one spot, even a yellow legal pad. Keep it all in one spot. I talked to a girl the other day and she said, I haven't gotten started because I didn't know where to put it. And I said, it doesn't matter. She said, I need you to tell me. And I said, legal pad or spiral. And it's like, then she was like, okay, now I can do it. So if your people need that much direction, just give them an answer so that they can get started. And then you get to sit down and think through these 4 areas: your family, friends, business, and community. Obviously, the first 3 are pretty easy to think through. Your community is everybody that you know through school, people that you might go to church with or be in Bible studies with, etc. These might be some of your closest contacts because they're people who know other people. For instance, my son at his school, if I talk to one of his teacher is friends with all of the people in his class, and then their parents go from there. So that's a way to drive a line, which Derek Tilson is going to talk about later today. This was one of the hardest ones for me, though, because I'd sit in church, and I'd sit there and I'd write down all the names. Anybody do that? Anybody else do that? And on your thing, like, I'm sorry, God, I know I'm supposed to be focusing on you, but I just thought of somebody, and you're writing it down. Just carry something with you at all times, and the best advice I can give you on this one is really to keep it in one place. Because when you have all these little slips of paper running around and you lose one, you feel really silly. So if you just get one of those little pocket notebooks and stick it in a pocket of your purse, then you'll always have all your names together in one spot and you can go back to them. So again, FFBC, Family, Friends, Business, and Community. It starts with you. You want to start focusing on one group. Why do you want to do that? Just what Gary was talking about, being organized in your day, organized in your thought process, organized in your business will bring you to success faster. So if you choose one of your groups, say you choose your friends, and then you go talk to those friends, or here we have family, and then you drive that line, you're able to then talk to them about their sphere of influence. So do you see how that builds? Don't leave people out. My mom just told me the other day about one of her best friends who's Chinese, who she taught English to, and I thought, and her name is Shumi. I just thought, oh my goodness, the relation, and my mom had never told me about her. But I thought I didn't take enough time to probably ask my mom who she really knew and who people were in her background. And this was one of her very best friends that she's kept up with. So that's a contact now. I've been in the business, as he told you, for quite a long time, and I've never contacted this lady. She said she's in California. Oh my gosh, she loves those kind of things. And I said, Mom, why didn't you ever tell me? And what did she say? You never asked. So that was kind of painful because the responsibility really was on me. So again, you work through these main groups, and then when you have somebody who you get to start working with, you help them work through their main groups. Don't miss this because it's simple. Don't miss this because it looks too easy, because this will take your business to the next level faster than anything else that you can do. How to use influential groups. Let me give you a quick example. If you go to, for instance, like we went to the game last night. If I talk to one of the players on the team and he is influential in his community, is he going to be more of a trusted advisor than somebody who's just watching the game as far as basketball goes? And if I talk to the coach, is he going to be a more trusted advisor than the player? So if you go to the leader in a group, for instance, say you went to a certain college and you're going to go there and talk to some of the students. Are you more, is it greater wisdom to speak to the professor or speak to the person who's in charge, who already has influence over that group of people, than it is to talk to some of the people who you may consider less scary? It's a lot less scary to go to somebody you know. If you consider yourself maybe an 8 or a 9, and you go talk to somebody who you consider more like they may have a sphere of influence or a network of maybe a 5 or a 6, it's a lot less scary, isn't it? However, that's not the person who's going to be the most influential over their group. If you go to somebody who's already a trusted advisor, half of your work is done. Because say I know Karen Johnson, or I know Jeff Mack, and he already has this huge sphere of influence who listen to him. How much faster is he going to bring along that whole group than I am when they don't know me? They already trust him. They already trust Karen Johnson. So they're already listening to her. So you want to go to the leaders of each group. If you think about each different section of friends, family, business, community, go to the people who are already in the position of leadership. The person who walks in the room and sits down at that head of the table chair, you all know that kind of person? He's somebody who they're already listening to. Tony Robbins has a great story about doing some things with the military, and nobody would listen to him. And he was walking around the table and he finally realized that the general sat in a certain chair. And so what he did was he brought the men along his way of thinking, and he finally went over and he sat down in the general's chair, very casually, so he didn't look presumptuous. But then as he was talking, he was going like this. He was talking about, so you agree with me, right? Kind of doing the Leif Edmonds, his friend thing that everybody loves. And he was going like this, and everybody in the room started kind of nodding with him because he was in the position that usually the general holds. Can you picture that in your mind, why everybody just started following him? Because they were used to saying, yes, sir, to the person who was sitting in that seat. He simply took that seat. So that's just one little example. But you're looking for leaders because these people obviously are the ones of influence who are going to make the biggest difference in your business. I'll give you a quick example. I can't quite read that. Warm relations, influential groups. Let me skip over. Okay. This is an idea of everybody that you know has a sphere of influence. I'm going to give you one example. One of my top people on my team, you heard Tom and Ann Hotelling speak yesterday, and I met them through a neighbor. I barely knew her. She had moved in down the street just a few months before, and I think I had more guts because I didn't know her very well, and I just kept telling her, you've got to see this business. If you don't see this and you run into me a year or two from now, you're going to regret that you didn't take this seriously. And so that finally got under her skin, and she said, I just got my real estate license. That's what I really want to do. However, okay, because she said it was the fear of loss. And so I said, just come and see, kind of what Gary had said. If you aren't moved, if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. You can be here to just cheer me on. So it took all the weight off. She didn't feel scared. She didn't feel like I was going to depend on her. And she came, she saw the presentation, and she said, this is amazing. This was amazing, but it's just not for me. And I said, that's okay. I'm so impressed that you have the business acumen to take a look at something else, so that you know what's going on out there. And so I didn't say thank you. I used to get in trouble for saying thank you too much. You don't want to say thank you too much, because it gives the impression that they're doing something for you versus that you have a gift for them, right? But at the end, I said, I tell you what you could do. I said, you could still be a part of this. You could still help me. Would you put a list of 20 people together, your top, the most influential people you know in town? Who do you think are the strongest business people you know in Dallas? And so she wrote her list, and I called the people on that list, and I ended up recruiting 2 of them. 2 of them became executives, and one of them was Tom and Anna Telling. So you just never know who's behind that. I will say, when people don't know you and you're calling that list, because it's not your personal sphere of influence, and I didn't know how they knew each other, there's not as much chance that they are going to respond to you in a positive way. So I was just myself, but I was consistent. I was just doing what I'm supposed to do every day. Everybody always wants to know, how did you recruit that Blue Diamond? How did he recruit Alan McGow? How did he recruit, Leif Edmonds? These people were just going about, and I bet Jeff Mack talked to 10 people the day he talked to Leif Edmonds. He didn't know that Leif was going to be a superstar. You're just going about your day, and that's what I was doing. And so I left those messages, and I left a message, and I left a message for Ann, and a guy named Tom called me back, and I didn't know who he was, but I made an appointment anyway because he called me back. And so that turned into an organization that has business in 30 countries. Do you realize everybody you know, they either are a go-getter or they know a go-getter? You realize that? So if you will not, don't leave anybody off your list. Don't be afraid to write anybody down. Even if you don't have the courage to call them yet, you can use your upline support to do 3 ways. Because do you realize we are in the middle of December right now? By what time? How many people want to go to Orlando on a success trip, on a 5-star vacation? Okay. Do you realize we have over 3 months left? Have any of you studied, if you've studied network marketing, you realize that a lot of the top leaders, they did a 90-day blitz. They got really serious, and they said, I am going to get focused, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to sacrifice what I need to sacrifice. A lot of us here have kids. We all understand. Everybody's got stuff. But Sean was telling me last night, don't make excuses. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's what he's telling me what I usually tell my team. And he's saying it to me. You have an opportunity right now to do a 90-day blitz with a little bit of leeway for Christmas. You're right in the right time to focus 90 days and make that trip in March. You have to earn it by the end of March. So you've got 3.5 months. How many of you are willing to go home, even if you've done your list, I bet you can max it out more. If Charlie Patterson can stand up here and say, as a team elite, that he has people he hasn't called yet, I bet each one of us in the room has done the same thing. So are you willing to recommit, refocus on your list, and make a commitment to getting to Orlando? Yeah. Okay, excellent. All right, so this is the last thing. Thank you for attending. Brian Tracy said it. I didn't say thank you. With greater confidence in yourself and your abilities, you will set bigger goals, make bigger plans, and commit yourself to achieving objectives that you dream about. Remember that it's not about you. Remember that it's about you feeling confident in yourself so that you can go out and be a better giver, a better supporter, and a better servant. Because servant leaders, those are the people that people want to follow. Okay, I'm going to believe with you. I'm going to see you in Orlando. Thank you.